Hi, I'm Renee with Rare Beauty, and today we're going to show you a really easy routine on how to make green and blue eyes pop. So the first thing we need to do is prepare the eyes. So I'm going to take our True to Myself pressed finishing powder with a powder puff and very gently press this into the eyelid to take away any texture and oil, but also just to very gently neutralize the lid. So when we apply our colour on top, the colour really shines. Just very gently pressing that over from the root of the lash up to the brow. And now we can begin adding some colour. To really make a green or blue eye pop, I love using colours such as Compassion. This is in one of our creamy eyeshadow sticks, and it's a beautiful warm toned burgundy that will really create a contrast with the eye colour. So I'm going to place this along the outer lash line of the eye, really making sure it starts at the root of the lash and then buff it up, but focusing more on that outer corner. Now you don't have to be super precise with these are literally mistake proof, so easy to use. And I like to take it up all the way to where that brow bone starts to meet the lid. But you can already see that beautiful colour. Then taking a fluffy eyeshadow brush, I'm going to very gently start to diffuse and blend this pigment, starting from the crease with a light pressure and building my shape. And we really want to elongate and lift the eyes, making them appear bigger and wider. So we're going to start focusing that blending up and out. Now, when you're working with cream eyeshadows, you want to focus a lot of your blending on the outer edges, not so much on the middle, because you want to keep that pigment as it is, but you want it to look like a soft gradient of colour. So in light circular motions, you can buff and blend. And don't be afraid to take your time and just let the blending do the work. So the reason I've chosen this shade is that the gorgeous burgundy tone will create a contrast with the green eyes, really making them pop. And then you can start buffing it into the center of the lid. And then just to keep an eye on the shape, I'm gonna get you to open your eyes for me. So we can already see how that color's starting to look. Now I'm gonna start building this color by going back in with the stick and working the stick into the brush and getting a softer wash of color on that center of the lid. So we also have a nice gradient of colour from light to dark, creating a smokier finish. So continuous light circular motions and just adding it bit by bit. And don't be afraid to really blow it out. And if you want to go in and add depth in any areas, you can always just go in and apply a little bit more. Then to transition that colour, to make sure that you have that really gorgeous blend of colour, I'm going to go in with our Warm Wishes bronzing stick with the same brush and just warm this into the crease of the eye. And we're going to use this as our transition shade. And I'm just going back and forth in that crease and softly blending it into the burgundy pigment. I'm then going to go in with our gel liner. This is also in the shade Compassion, so it's very similar to the eyeshadow stick that we use, but it hasn't got any of that sparkle. But why I've chosen this one is it's reinforcing that burgundy shade to create further contrast. And I'm going to use this to line the upper lash line, create a little bit of depth and definition at the root of the lash, from the inner corner to the outer corner, and then we're going to tight line with a brown. So we're really sticking to those warm tones. So working that pigment into that root of the lash and taking it into that inner corner. Then to finish off that colour palette, I'm going in with our Positive Light powder highlighter in the shade Mesmerize, which has a really beautiful rose gold pinky tone. And I'm going to pop this on the centre and inner corner of the lid to really bring some light and dimension, which will also create a bit of a contrast on the eye itself, making them appear super green. To finish off the eye, I'm going to go in with our Universal Volumizing Mascara to really create that false lash effect and further open the eye. This is going to give the lashes their own moment to shine, and the black pigment of the mascara will create a bit of separation as well, encouraging those burgundy tones that we've used to stand out even more. So working the mascara at the root of the lash and then combing it all the way through to the tip of the lashes to ensure every lash is saturated in product. And then just a little bit on the bottom to add a bit of balance and fullness. I'm going to place this all over the lid, really focusing on that outer corner of the lid, and you can already see how rich this pigment is. I'm then going in with a eyeshadow brush. This is the Space NK 302 eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to very lightly soften and diffuse. So just use soft, gentle circular motions to diffuse that pigment. And then if you want to build up that intensity, you can work your brush into the eyeshadow stick and just start building that pigment. Once you're happy with the intensity of the pigment, this is where you can start building your shape. So we really want to widen the eyes and make them look more lifted. So I'm going to diffuse that pigment up and out towards the outer part of the brow. This is going to bring your attention up. I'm then going to go in with our Warm Wishes bronzing stick as a transition shade to just add a little bit of warmth and structure into the crease, but also give our eyeshadow stick something to blend into. And then to ensure that that purplish pigment looks flattering against the skin, I'm going to take our True to Myself tinted pressed powder and just almost use this to brighten around the eye to make sure that that attention to detail that we've just created is on the eye itself. I'm now going in with our Longwear gel liner in the shade Compassion as well. So this is the exact same color as the eyeshadow stick, but without the shimmer. And I'm going to place this along the upper lash line to intensify and create a little bit of extra upper lash definition. So from the outer corner, all the way across to the middle corner. To further define, we're now going to tightline the lash line by placing a dark brown liner in this upper waterline. So we want to really work this brown into the root of the lash from within. And this is going to give the appearance of bigger and fuller lashes while also connecting the lid to the lash. Then to add a bit of light and dimension, I'm going in with our Positive Light powder highlighter in shade Mesmerize to really make the green eyes pop. And I'm pressing this from the inner corner all the way to the center of the lid. And then I'm going to rotate my brush to the clean side and allow that highlighter to blend in with those creams that we've used. And to finish off, of course, mascara, because this always completes the eye and ties it all together. So I'm using our Universal Volumizing Mascara, which really gives a beautiful, natural, weightless, false lash effect. So you're going to get impact and drama with just a few strokes. It doesn't weigh the lashes down. And the fact that the formula is infused with cast oil means that the lashes will remain conditioned and hydrated, preventing any dryness or clumping. I'm going to go back in with our Compassion, work a little bit into the brush, test on the back of the hand to see how the colour payoff is working. And I'm going to pinch the brush to make it a little bit more streamlined and just kind of wiggle it underneath the lash. Blend it into the outer corner, just so the lower and upper lash line are connected. You can always take your finger as well if you find that easier to buff and diffuse. So, to further complement the eyes, we're going to now start building a lip look, and I'm going to use our Kind Words matte lip liner in the shade Worthy to just add a little bit of definition and sharpen up the lip line. So, I'm going to begin with the Cupid's bow and just very softly enhance it. And a little bit on the lower. But I'm not going to do too much with the lip liner because the next step is really what's going to make the difference. When we think about colour theory, your purples, your oranges is what's really going to stand out with a green and blue eye. So we're going to top this off with a peachy gloss. This is our Positive Luminous lip gloss in shade Beam, and it has the most gorgeous coral finish, which I think will really kind of tie in this look. So applying this from the center of the lip and then tapping it into the corners. But I really want that high shine in the center to encourage more fullness. And it's also a nice way to add a bit of color without taking the attention away from the eyes. So we want it to all complement each other. And then to complete the look, let's add some blush. So I'm going in with our Soft Pinch Matte Bouncy Blush in shade Happy, which is a peachy pink. So this is a gorgeous way to just add a little bit of life and color while still not overpowering the eyes and the lips. A little bit of that, a little bit higher up in the upper cheekbone, and blending a little bit of it into the eye. And I like to really bounce this into the skin. I mean, it's called Bouncy Blush, so bouncing it in means that you get a really nice, even distribution of product without disturbing your base underneath. And there we have a really quick and easy look that will really celebrate and make your green blue eyes pop.